And I got a microphone. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Just Talking with your man, Johnathan Lewis. Glad you're here, because I was worried you weren't going to be. But no, just joking. I wasn't worried about it. You guys love me. It's great, because I love you too. Hugs, kisses, all that good stuff. I got a good show this week. But before we even get to that, we have to give shout-outs to the main man, Mr. Dudley. Are we... Hey, it's good to see you. I missed you just a little bit. No, Mr. Dudley back there doing the thing, man. Without that man, I'm telling you right now, this show would be a lot more beat up looking. It really would, because I'll be trying to do it all right here, and it would probably be pretty rough. But I'll do my best, though, because it's what I do for everybody. Love you guys. Mr. Dudley, how's your week been?
Good. I'll be busy.
Yeah? Always staying busy. You gotta stay busy. If you don't stay busy, then I feel like you're like wasting life away.
You want to say?
Yep. You know, the things that we're going to talk about for this show are, well, I guess they're kind of circulating around. Obviously, they're things that spark some interest. But some of them kind of stand out a little bit more than others. For good reasons on a couple, and for bad reasons on a couple other ones. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Because I really kind of want to yap a little bit. So, and I think I got enough topics that I could probably talk this whole hour without stopping, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. I promise.
Right.
I won't do that. Maybe. I'll think about it. Because, it's just talking anyway, so, it is what it is.
Let's just talk.
Yeah, let's just talk, man. Let's just talk. But you said you had a good week this week so far, man. Been productive? Yeah? It's been a good week. Had a lot of good things happen myself, man. I hope everybody else did it, too. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know how your week's been. Go ahead and send me a message. Mr. Dudley will try to respond to you in the middle of the show. And then he's going to tell me, and I'm going to crack a joke if I can crack a joke. But if I can't,
right,
well, then I'm going to keep on moving on to something I can talk about. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. So check this out, man. This week we had some pretty good things go on. Pretty good, pretty interesting things. Oh, by the way, we don't have a guest this week. It's okay. It happens. But next week we got a good guest. And I feel pretty certain that they are going to be here. If I was Jimmy Kimmel, I would be doing the whole Matt Damon thing with like a lot of our guests. Like, we were gonna have them on, but something came up. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I'm not Jimmy Kimmel. I'm Johnathan Lewis. Thanks for watching. See ya. No, I'm just playing. That's a joke. Okay, so check this out. This week, interesting things happen. First, I'm going to start with Felicity Huffman. You know who she is? No? Well, she's an actress, and she's been in a lot of big things. You can just Google her. I'm not even going to spit her whole rap sheet here. So she's guilty. She was found guilty. She was indicted for a scandal, school scandal, right? And here's the deal: is that anybody who's been keeping up with it knows that she cheated to get her son in college, or her child in college. I'm not sure if it was her son or daughter or what, but she basically paid some money for somebody to like fudge some stuff to get her kid in college. Now that's an offense. That's illegal. So really illegal. I thought it was a felony. I guess maybe it's not, or maybe it's a slap on the wrist felony. She actually only ended up getting 14 days. 14 days in jail. That's it. She got 14 days in jail for this scandal where she paid $15,000 to basically a fake charity, and that charity was used to facilitate the cheating. So basically, the person that had the power to make those changes that they needed to do to fudge the things up. They were using this charity, which has since been disbanded. They were using the charity to take the money. Long story short. And I really think this is pretty screwed up, because 14 days in jail, when there are people in jail for a lot less things and a lot less serious offenses than something like that. I mean, that's fraud, and fraud is fraud. It's fraud. Yeah, it's fraud when it's fraud. So anyway, I just feel like that's kind of screwed up. It makes me wonder how many other people are in important jobs or important political positions, or have made a career of something that really they didn't actually earn from the get-go. Because a lot of the time, you know, we preach to our kids all the time, you know, you got to work hard and be smart and get a good job and all of that. And then here's this guy who's, you know, or girl or whatever, I'm not even sure what gender a kid is or whatever. I don't really care, to be honest with you. As far as I'm concerned about it, I feel like the matter at hand is that the woman paid money to get her kid in school, that nobody else could really just get away with that unless you have that kind of money and the right connections and feel like committing fraud. That's just kind of my opinion on it. Like, I just feel like she deserved more than 14 days. And not even because it was something that hurt anybody or anything like that, but because of the fact that that kind of fraud, that degree of fraud, creates a certain unfair tension, a certain, or not tension, but a certain unfair dynamic between that person and their peers. That person's likely to walk around and treat people like, oh, well, I've got into this school. You know, they're likely to treat people like they might be beneath them at some points in life, and it would come from something like your mind frame of thinking that you've earned something that you didn't. My opinion on that, anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Drop something down there in the lines. If you disagree, well, whatever. No, I'm just playing. I'm just joking. You can disagree. It's what makes the world go around. Really, opposites, poles, right? I'm gonna move on from that. Oh, and that actually, you know, my thoughts. Did you show that graphic, by the way?
I can.
Go ahead and show it. Let's show her face so everybody knows who she is. Let me know where that graphic is. Is it up? There it is. See that pretty face right there? That lady committed fraud to get her kid in college while you're busting your ass trying to get your kid in college. She cheated. And she got 14 days in jail. And it's likely that if I would have done that, or if somebody else would have done that, you, the neighbors, you and other watchers, we probably would be doing like a year. At least. So, I guess money talks. I don't know. Maybe it yells, screams, something like that. Kevin Hart. Well, he was in an accident not that long ago. He's being sued for $60 million. $60 million. Now, that's what he's being sued for, which means he's got more than that. He's probably going to be all right if he loses that. Doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. I mean, hell, it hurts losing $1 to me. I spend $1 and some change on a coffee in the morning at the gas station. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. How did it come to this? And he's having to deal with $60 million. And the woman in the sex tape, I didn't care to write her name down because those kind of things just don't really matter to me. But anyway, the woman is saying that she was extorted. He continues to deny what the charges are that she's trying to sue him for. He's denying that she was extorted. He's not denying the tape, because you can't deny that. That's evidence because there's a sex tape. But he is denying the circumstances. She's trying to say that she was basically tricked into it, like that he lured her to the room for some reason. I can't remember how she tried to justify it. She's trying to say he lured her to the room and that he had a friend in the room and didn't tell her, and that the friend is the one who made the tape. It just sounds like a lot of work for nothing when you're rich. And, you know, it's Kevin Hart. I mean, I'm not saying Kevin Hart can't do bad stuff. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't even necessarily do that. But what I am saying is that, why would you risk it? And then you really think that people are going to buy your story? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But teach their own, I suppose. She also has had charges filed against her previously for extortion attempts. So she's claiming she was extorted. But she's had charges filed against her for extortion. Okay, so we're going to move on. Oh, check this one out. This is a pretty good one. Let's see where we're at right now. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. So, the military a long time ago put something into place where you couldn't sue them. Like, you couldn't sue the military for certain things. For pretty much anything, the way it sounds like from what I read. But there are senators, it's actually a bipartisan effort at this too. There are senators that are introducing a bill that allows service members to sue the military for medical malpractice. So as long, and now there's conditions to this, and there's other things that they can sue for too. There's like 3 particular things that they mentioned. I can't recall what the other 2 were. Look it up, you can find it. But they can sue for medical malpractice. However, it has to be done. The medical wrongdoing has to be done on a post or at a military base that is not in a combat zone. So if it's in a combat zone and somebody tricked you off, you know, told you didn't have or didn't fix something right or left a tool inside your body, you can't even sue them if you're in a combat zone. However, the good part about it is that now out of combat zones, you can. So you don't have to worry as much now. Well, not to say you don't have to worry, I suppose. The worry doesn't change. But as far as worrying about if something happened and you had some sort of resolution to it, you can sue the military now if something happens on a military, medical malpractice happens. Which I'm sure that kind of thing does happen. And I'm sure that that's protected a lot of doctors and a lot of nurses and a lot of people in the past. Because, you know, we're all humans and we all make mistakes. But when you're kind of protected that way, it almost makes you wonder if maybe there's ever been cases that somebody should have been able to sue, wasn't able to, and so somebody completely got away with doing something that they probably were where they did. I don't know. That's my thoughts. That's something I really want to know your opinion on. If you are watching right now, go ahead and drop a comment down there in the live chat thread. Mr. Deadly will see it and he'll say something back, or at least he'll let me know, and then we'll say something back, and we might joke about you a little bit, and who knows? I don't know. I guess it depends on our mood when that happens. I'm going to keep on going on. Oh, by the way, that bill that they're introducing is called the SFC Richard Stayscale Military Medical Accountability Act 2019. That's a long name for an act. Yeah, for like no reason, I don't think. But you know, I guess it's named after the guy and all the other stuff. They just wanted a bunch of words. Russian boxer. Now, I like boxing, but I haven't really kept up with boxing in a long time. And I don't have a picture for us to see this guy, but a Russian boxer, Maxim Dadashev. I think that's how it's pronounced. He died after a fight last Friday. So what ended up happening was he was showing signs during the fight of brain injury, like during the fight, because he was getting beat up kind of bad. He was getting beat up pretty bad, man. You should have seen the pictures. He was looking pretty rough. He got handled up. But on the way out of the ring, down the aisle, he ended up passing out. They took him to the hospital where, after finding that he had brain injury, he ended up dying. They tried to save him, and they couldn't save him. Now, he hadn't lost his previous 13 fights. And this was a big fight. And honestly, that from what the source that I read said that the trainers were in the corner trying to get him to get out of the fight sooner than he did. And eventually they forced him to throw the towel. But he wasn't trying to. And here's the reason why, I'm sure. Because this was an IBF world title elimination fight. So if he won, he was going to be challenging someone for the IBF world title. I'm not even sure who holds it. If you know who, tell me who, man. Let me know. Fill me in. I'm trying to know the news too, baby. Anyway, so he collapsed in the aisle when he was leaving the ring. And then they took him to the hospital. He passed away. And it's kind of sad, man. Because it is sad. And condolences to his family and all of his loved ones and all that. But it's really sad because it's kind of hard to weigh it. Is it sad because he died doing something that he was passionate about? Or is that a good way to die? Like, not to say a good way to die. If I was gonna die though, like unexpectedly, I would want it to be something. I would want it to be during something that I was doing that I loved, that I cherished, that I have my passion in. So that way, you know, at least people knew, hey, he didn't die popping a freaking firecracker in his mouth, blowing his jaw. I don't understand people today. Okay, so this is random, and this is, okay. I saw this video earlier, and if you keep up with me on Facebook, then you saw me share it, I'm sure, and if not, you've probably seen it by now. I can't help but call him anything other than a moron. And if you watch the show, whoever you are, you're a moron. I'm just saying, bro. Like, who does that? He put a firecracker in his mouth, lit it, and closed his mouth. Well, it popped, of course. Fortunately, though, if you watch the timing on this thing, he would have sustained a lot more damage to his mouth if he closed it all the way and clamped it. Yep. But you know what? We'll talk about more of that in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Once it gets back, I'm going to talk some more, and hopefully you're going to listen to it all or put it on mute and just look at me and pretend that I'm handsome and that you're listening. See you in a minute.
He makes it feel like, you really are family and it's not just business.
They're reasonable, they work with you, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get you what you need.
They help me and my family. I brought a lot of friends up here that they have helped in the pinch. I really do like them.
Become a member of the Provident Credit family. Come in or apply online today on your computer or mobile device at provcredit.com/apply. Provident Credit, where the right time is now. Come be a part of the Robert Brown Agency family and let us prove why choosing the right insurance agency is important too.
Hi, this is Robert with Farmers Insurance and the Robert Brown Agency. Come in today and see why the Robert Brown Agency is your best choice.
Are you with us? Hopefully you're with us, because I need the views. Just saying. Need some views and some shares. Hit the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're not doing that, then I want to ask you, really, why not? Feel free to let me know in the comments. We're going to continue right on. Don't you like those little minute breaks? Aren't they cool? They're fast and they're short and sweet to the point. Give you some good information about some stuff. Let you know about people you can call, utilize the service, and then you get to come right back to this handsome face. I almost said you're welcome, but I think I'm a little more humble than that. Because really, well, you're welcome. It's okay. Thanks. I'm going to keep going. Got some more good stuff. Juicy stuff. Juicy. I'm just saying. All right, so check this out. An 18-year-old Oklahoman, this young woman, she was at work, and she got arrested for terroristic threats. She's scared. Apparently, what she said sounded serious enough to one of her coworkers, and then she showed some videos of her shooting guns. She said she was going to kill 400 people, and also some old high school classmates. They called the police on her, and they arrested her. The girl was a high school dropout, which not necessarily anything wrong with that, but I mean, if you're talking about dropping out of high school and then you're talking about shooting it up, I'm just kind of like, didn't you leave that behind? And don't get me wrong, man, I've had my troubles. Anybody who knows me knows that. But I mean, when I left there, man, and I left all that shit with it. So, but I get it, man. Life is tough, and things affect people different ways. They really do, which is an important topic to talk about. Mental health. You know what I mean? What do you think? You know, I was talking today with someone, and we talked briefly about mental health, and we both feel like in our city, man, it's actually some kind of serious. There's a lot of people here that aren't necessarily, not to say you're wrong in the head, but like there's just a lot of illogical thoughts that tend to take place and take action, and we see that. And it's not to say everybody, it's just to say that it's more prevalent than I think that it should be. Maybe people should consider their health more in terms of their mental well-being. I don't know. My thoughts on that. What do you think, Mr. Dudley?
I think life can be hard, man.
Life can be hard. That's right. Life's a bitch, then you die. That's what they say.
Suck it up.
Suck it up! You know, I was going to say something clever to the suck it up thing, but everything was like really perverted, so I just stayed away from it. I'm just saying. It's a little warm in here. I don't know if you guys are warm where you're at, but it's pretty warm in here, so yeah, that's that. Let's move on to the next thing. Oh, let's see. Yeah, she was showing people videos. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, political journalist Cokie Roberts passed away this week on Tuesday. You know what my mom told me? She said, son, I watch your show, and she's probably watching right now. She said, I watch your show, and you're always dabbing your face. Because it's hot. Need to get the AC. I'm just playing. I'm not going to take a nap. As much as I feel like I could take a nap right now with how hot it is. God. You know, you guys probably watch me lose like 3 or 4 pounds every show. I'm surprised that I'm still here. I guess it means that in the time I'm not in here melting, that I'm making up for it by eating and probably really just drinking water. Anyway, Cody Roberts passes away at age 75 on Tuesday. She's known for working in radio, working for CBS News, and that was before working for ABC starting in 1988, to which from 1996 to 2002 she co-anchored This Week with Sam Donaldson. So she's a very well-known woman in the journalist community and politics and all that, and both her parents were politicians. So to me it's always kind of sad, even if I didn't necessarily know a person's work and all that, it's always kind of sad when somebody who works in a similar field ends up passing away, because I think about like especially the longer they work in it, because it's just something that I can relate to, you know what I mean? And I feel like, okay, well I guess it's kind of like if you're a motorcycle guy, you know, and you find out that somebody who's a rider, you know, passes away, you're like, man, you know, how are bikers talk? Yeah, something like that. That's my deep voice, by the way, in case you didn't know. Oh, check this out. This one's cool. And if you live in California and you're watching, like and share, and tell everybody we're in Oklahoma, and like and share it some more. But this is for Californians here. SB 206. That is a Senate bill that is being pushed through. I guess it's being put up for vote, and it sounds like the majority of people in California are in favor of it. What that Senate bill is called the Fair Pay to Play Act. It allows college athletes to actually get paid for their name, their image, and anything that's of the likeness. So instead of the universities making billions of dollars off of those jerseys, or making billions of dollars off of their image, their students' images, now those students can actually make the money that they deserve. Because I mean, it's not really fair. Think about all these college video games and all that these people could be making money on, and it's not fair that they don't get to make that. Now, granted, there's a high school student or somebody straight out of high school who's got skills, plays a year in college ball, maybe, you know what I mean, deserve to make billions. I guess if his talent says so, maybe. Is he probably going to be wise with it? I don't know. I guess it comes down to the user. The user of themselves. You can tell I do like some programming and stuff like that and all that, because, you know, user is one of those terms that you talk about when somebody's using something. Yeah, so 73-0 are in favor of passing this bill. They want those kids to get paid. They deserve it. I mean, think about it. They're like really busting their tail. Now, I ain't gonna necessarily say that people deserve millions upon millions of dollars for playing sports. There are far more important things that people should be getting paid a lot more money for. For instance, teachers. Anybody disagree with that? Well, two nuts for you, because that's really stupid when we're paying millions to watch people carry a ball and get hit by other people by choice, versus saying, hey, the future of our everything, kids, teachers, pay them something's worth it. It's just really asinine to me, but it's the world that we make it, right? So I guess I can't be upset at anybody except for, I don't know, humans, because we do that shit. We're good for that. If dogs did it, I'd be mad at dogs too. I'd be like, how y'all gonna pay y'all dogs to run on 4 legs? Call it a race. They're like, we're running all the dog bones, some squish necks. I hope I don't get sued for that. That might be copyright infringement. Let's move on so we can avoid that. Oh, by the way, LeBron James is in favor of that also. Not sure why that was important, but there you go. Here's something I'm excited about. Let me go back. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. You want to show this picture, SpaceX? The SpaceX program is in the final stages of completing the Starship Mk1. Now, that is a Starship that's intended to take people on flights, if I'm not mistaken, to the moon and back. And it's a reusable craft based on, I believe, the SpaceX design. And essentially, it kind of looks like the same thing. They just basically make attachments to connect to it. You can see from the picture how they have the lower portion and they have the top portion that they attach to it. So it just kind of seems like, and they have other versions. They've got the MK2 also that is supposed to be, I don't know if it's nearing completion, but the MK1 is nearing completion. But the MK2 design, if I'm not mistaken, it's the picture I believe I saw, looks similar to the MK1, but it's taller. And it's basically like they added another section on top with a couple more pins. They're saying that they are hoping, they're not for certain yet, but they're hoping to have demonstrations as soon as October 13th. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be cool. I think that would be cool. I would love to go to space. It's I feel like it's something inevitable for humankind to eventually live in space. Now I would just love to go to space, just to take the journey. You know how fast you have to go to break through the atmosphere? Something like between 13 and 16,000 miles an hour. That would be so cool. Probably terrifying. You know, the first time, maybe the second time, hell, third, fourth, fifth. But it would be cool though. And then you'd be in space. That'd be freaking awesome. We're gonna get there eventually. I saw an article earlier today, as a matter of fact, and I think it was a Fox station that shared the story. I'm not sure. They were saying that as early as 2025, if I'm not mistaken, they're expecting to have the first, and I don't know what company it was, I didn't read the whole article, I just kind of skimmed through it real quick, the first space station hotel complete with space cruises. Woo! Y'all should have seen Mr. Dudley's eyes look up just now. He was like, what?
Go on.
That's not how he was doing. That was just me. I was just playing. But yeah, that's cool. And the image, by the way, comes from the Tesla website. So that image is not BS. I went directly to the source for that. Is it that time?
It is.
It's that time. I love that time. Do you know what time it is? I bet you can't guess. I'll give you about 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's that time! And I think that you're in the shot, actually, too, so that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right there. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button and hit that little bell, because you know you like watching me, and you know you want to know when I'm talking. Or hell, hit the bell so that way you know when I'm not talking. If that works better for you. As long as you stay subscribed, that's great. I love it, and I appreciate it. And I'll give you a high five from here. Good job, thanks. You know what we're gonna do? I got one more thing I'm gonna talk about real quick, and then we'll probably take that next break. I'm gonna save that one. Here's the one I'm gonna talk about though. I keep seeing, and I almost made the mistake of sharing articles that are old articles that are recirculating. And you know what? It's frustrating because that's part of the reason that a lot of shit, I realize, is still continuing between people. Because we're recirculating these old articles on social media that are literally 2, 3, 5, 6 years old, and we're not paying attention to the dates, and then we're getting mad, and we're like, everybody look at this, and because nobody's looking at it, we're all like, this is new, and we're getting mad at shit that we already got mad about 7 years ago. With that, I vowed to myself to, from now on, always make sure that I don't talk about anything or share anything anymore that's not current. Because if it's not current, it's only causing shit. And there's nothing good coming from it. So, yeah, so the thing that led me to that was, I can't remember what the article was, but it was something very sensitive. It had to do with like racism or something like that. And I was kind of mad. I was like, man, I'm not cool with that, man. I'm about to share this and talk about this tonight. And then when I got to reading it, I made sure to scroll back up because I was like, I don't want to, you know, it kind of struck me as familiar. So I went back up, and here's the deal: is any articles or any source that's going to have something that's verifiable, or somebody has a sense of how this industry might at least work to a small degree. They're going to have the date, they're going to have the name, their name, and then you'll know who they write for. That doesn't mean that something is just fact because those things are there. But what it does mean is that it's something that you can actually expect to be able to find in other places if you search it. If you read an article and it just says, you know, the place, or it doesn't have any kind of a date, no timestamp or anything, don't even share that shit. Don't humor that shit. Because whether it's true or not, unless you're going to take the time to go validate it, that could literally just be some bullshit. It could. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of bullshit. I'm tired of sharing everything that says white folks do this to black folks, or they do this to brown folks. And I'm tired of sharing things that show black folks do this to white folks, and they do this to brown folks, and vice versa, and all of the bullshit. I'm just tired of the bullshit. What I'm really ready for is this, for one. And then two, I'm ready for us to really start acknowledging the reality of what we're living in and creating. And start cutting out the bullshit. We're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
We cover all of the details. Wax, wash, and shine, your vehicle is guaranteed to come out shiny. Let us pay attention to the detail. We're here to vacuum wash and deodorize your vehicle on a professional level. Don't leave it to the other guys to miss things. We see them all. Do you have a fleet of vehicles? We're equipped to take on all the vehicles your business has too. Keep your business vehicles looking the best they can. Stop by today and schedule with us or message us on Facebook. Full Throttle Detail, located at 1601 Northwest Sheridan Road in Lawton. Bring your fur baby into Just for Canines and Kitty too. We have all of the best items for your cat, dog, pup, or kitten in stock. From pet beds to toys, we have everything you can think of. We carry the best selection of pet hygiene products and a huge selection of cat and dog foods. Spoil your pet by letting us give them the full treatment from massage to complete bath and grooming. We also offer our mobile grooming services. Be sure to stop in today or give us a call. Just for Canines and Kitty too, your pet's favorite place to go.
And I have a microphone. I love it. Every time. I'm probably always going to come back and brace like that. And I got a microphone. It's great. You guys can't even see it. It's magic. You can hear me though. Thanks for coming back. So, check this out. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right back into this. I'm not going to go back on the thing I was talking about a minute ago. But I am just going to go ahead and keep moving forward. I keep seeing articles. Now, this is where we're either going to gain followers for the right reasons, or we're going to gain them, or we're going to lose them for what they'll consider the right reasons. Sounded like camera. Oh, it's good. Good go. All right. Yeah. I keep seeing articles about gender and kids choosing their gender. Now, I know of one fact that is absolutely undeniable, and this is where my standpoint is on this. And I'm not mad at anybody for your decisions. I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. You live the life you choose to live. You live the life you're intended to. What's meant to be will be. But the one factual statement that I know is that what is. That doesn't change. So I find myself not upset at the fact that we're telling people, hey, you know, kids, they let them be who they're going to be, But kids don't know enough to be able to choose the right clothes most of the time to get ready for school. They don't know enough to basically to make any kind of important decision in life. So why would any adult find it logical to allow them to choose what they want as their gender? And I know we're going to hear people are born and they feel different, but the fact still remains that if you have the body of a gender, or of that sex, say it that way, because there is a difference between gender and sex. I didn't understand it until not too long ago. But in reference to what I keep seeing, it's more about people allowing kids to choose what their sex is. Right? So the gender, sex is based on anatomy. Gender is based on more of the way that the brain is. So the way I understood it, how it was explained to me. So you can have, supposedly because there's more than one gender, you can have I guess like the idea of like a transsexual, I think it is, where they're born as one, but they relate with the other. If I'm wrong on any of this, I want somebody to comment, say something, let me know, but if I'm not mistaken, that's what it is. But what I don't understand is that irregardless of what the circumstances are, why are we going to allow children to make that decision when in reality they don't really know? They just don't. I don't even think, especially, and Facebook is a perfect example for this. I don't even think most people are in their 20s and 30s and necessarily know what their sexual orientation is a lot of the time. And we see that becoming more and more prevalent. Like, there's more and more bisexual people, there's more and more everything, it seems. And it's really a sensitive topic when you talk about it with kids. I don't think I personally I wouldn't be upset with my children if they ever felt a certain way, but at the same time, I wouldn't encourage that until they're old enough to understand what they're choosing. If that makes any sense. What do you think, Mr. W?
I think TV has a big influence.
And social media especially has a big influence. Kids that got these devices, man, they got access to the world. Scary deal. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to move on from that. But what I do want you guys to do is hit that like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when we're on. You'll be notified. And then I also want you guys to comment down there and let me know, because I'm interested in having a dialogue with anyone who's interested. Because it may be, I don't know, perspectives. I'm open-minded. So just, let me know what your perspective is, and then we'll talk about it. I'm interested. Oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and throw this guy's graphic up there. This guy right here is Michael Fulmer. Senator, Pennsylvania State Senator, was arrested for child pornography charges. Have you heard about this, Mr. Dudley?
What's his name?
His name is Michael Fulmer.
Okay.
He was arrested for child pornography charges. There was a hotline that received a tip that a site user on Tumblr had uploaded a child pornography picture, and there was an investigation started, and through that investigation, they wound up at the senator's house, and he admitted to the accusations of the pictures and downloading child pornography. They got a warrant. They had a warrant to search his house, warrant to search his phone. They went into the phone, they found the pictures, and he admitted to it. They're charging him with sexual abuse of children, possession of child pornography, and criminal use of communication facility. In other words, using his phone to do something illegal. Did we see that guy's face? I want everybody to see.
Oh yeah, they see his face.
Good. I want y'all all to see that, because that's someone who was an elected official. If you think he's the only one that's doing things that are foul, you're mistaken. And if we only acknowledge the ones that are doing things foul that relate to sex or relate to children, we're really screwing up, because there are a lot of other serious things that affect everybody that could be taking place, and probably are. And really, it comes down to, we need to give a damn more. From local level on up to everything bigger than that. We need to be voting. We need to be talking. We need to be educating each other. We need to be educating ourselves on politics. People say, politics, man, I don't mess with politics. I don't do all that. That's for old folks. And no. What you don't realize until you're an old folk is how you let politics, which governs your everyday life, be controlled by other people. You did nothing to determine how your route of life went aside from your day-to-day doings. Now, mind you, I know a lot of people are like, man, as long as I don't mess with anything, I ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm good. As long as they don't come knocking on my door, I'm good. That may be true, but we really don't know what things are taking place today that will affect 45 years from now, when we're laying on our deathbeds and our kids are grown, having to live in that time. Just like 30 years ago, most of our parents, or at least if you're in my age group anyway, they probably weren't necessarily considering 30 years later when their kids were living there. And if they were, how far? Say what?
Just like right now.
Just like right now, exactly. Just like right now, there's not enough people thinking about that later. You know, and I don't mean your 5-year goal, I don't mean your 10-year goal. I mean, what's going to happen 65 years down the road when I'm almost dead and my kids have kids? What we do today matters for everybody. Later, generations that we won't even see, because the thing is time moves forward. The concept of time, anyway, the linear concept of time moves forward, stays marching, right? No matter what, somebody's going to be affected by our today, not just us. And that will affect a tomorrow in a way that if you didn't do something proactive to keep it in a course that's beneficial for everybody, it's going to be way worse. Think about how everybody's already complaining about things now. All the laws are all against us. The government's against us. The government. We refer to the government like a person all the time. Talked about that last show too. But the government is groups of organizations that have elected officials or hired personnel that are put in place to operate functions of the country. We have more power than we like to think we do. We just don't use it. It's like if you gave a cop a gun and told him, you don't have to kill anybody if you don't want to, even if you're in the situation. And he was just like, you know what, I ain't gonna do it. And never killed anybody, which is good. We don't want cops to kill people. But in the time he needed to, if he didn't do it, like it's a dire situation. Imagine if he was facing a robber or something, or somebody's hurting somebody, and he's there and he draws his weapon or doesn't draw his weapon. Yep, that's really what it is. Let's use that, because we're not drawing our weapon when we don't exercise our rights to vote. We're not drawing our weapon when we're not exercising our rights at all, understanding them, learning them. We're not exercising our weapon. Knowledge is power. Yep. That's what they say anyway. Yeah, so anyway, that guy, yeah, hopefully he gets a good sentence, something he deserves, because I'm sure that he had more than pictures going on. He had to. Surely when his first time he got caught, you think that? No, I doubt it. Moving on. This story here is a little bit sad. In New York, Oceanside, New York, there was a teen who was stabbed to death in a fight over a girl. Nobody helped him. He was walking home from school, after school. I believe it was him and a friend. From what I read, there was at least 7 people involved in the fight. And I believe it was him and a friend who got jumped by 5 other kids. And a 17-year-old. And now mind you, this kid is 16, the one who got stabbed. The kid who stabbed him was 17. And it was over a girl. Over a girl. The worst part about it is that the report I read said that there was something around the neighborhood of 80 witnesses, and nobody did anything to help him, and he bled to death. Everybody recorded it. A lot of people recorded it, but nobody did anything. He bled on the ground, even after he got stabbed, and they ran off or whatever. He bled to death because nobody did a single thing to help him. It's so disappointing that that's how things are to me, and it kind of breaks my heart, really, because I'm the kind of person that will run into a fire. I'm the kind of person that will go to the gun, and I get it, everybody's not like that, and I get that a lot of people aren't like that, but at the same time, like, I just wonder, if the fight was over and he's bleeding, why not help him then? Why not do anything? Let me know your thoughts on that. And what would you have done? Would you have really done something, or would you have set aside? I think I would have done something. Myself, I think that's what I would have done. Mr. Elliott, what do you think? These are kids. This is a kid that got killed over a girl. Over a girl got stabbed. It's crazy. I try to teach my kids, to be very realistic, and I try to keep them in a real place in life. And people say, oh, you gotta let kids be kids. No, man, no. You gotta let kids be kids to the degree that they need to be kids. But in the world we live in today, you really have to be honest with them and forthright about how things are. When I was a kid, I don't think that I would have ever thought about stabbing someone over a girl. Now, it doesn't mean I didn't have my own issues and think about, hurting people or something back then, because I think that's something that a lot of kids go through as teenagers. because we're going through we're going through a lot of emotional changes and hormonal changes and things like that. So, but I don't think I would have stabbed someone, which is a very intimate, personal attack. Not over a girl. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Nope. The only girls that I'm willing to do anything, and it's not even girls, there's only one girl that I would bring any kind of harm to anybody in this world over, and that's my daughter. I wish you would try. Try me! See what's gonna happen, partner? Just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, let's see, where are we at here? Okay, cool. Oh, we already took our second break, didn't we? Yeah, buddy. It's rolling pretty good. It's not rolling as good as a fat blunt would roll right now, but that would be great. If you have one, comment in the thing below so I know to message you, so I can pick it up. I appreciate it. Woo! Hot. I'm melting. It's not as bad as it was in other days, though. That's good. But it's still pretty warm here. I think it's more humid than anything. Yeah. Yeah. You know? It sucks. It sucks. But next week, it's going to be nice and cool in here. We hope it's going to be nice and cool in here. I feel like it's going to be. Where was I at? Oh, here we go. If you have not seen this PSA from the Sandy Hook Promise, which is I guess it's an organization that is intent on educating people and to the signs of and in helping to prevent school shootings. If you haven't seen this, you need to see this. Now, we're going to run this, but this did come straight from their page. I'll drop the link to their page, but it also has a tag on it anyway, so the credit is for their video. But go ahead and run that tape, that Sandy Hook PSA, I think it is, whatever it is. Is it running?
Yeah. I've got images and I have mini video. What's mini video for? So let me see what I find.
So we've just been looking at me, looking at you this whole time. It's alright, it's okay. As he looks for that, I'm going to keep talking to you about it. This thing is, I'm not going to lie, man, it hits some very real spots. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It hits some very serious emotions. Make you stop and think as a parent about some things. You know, the idea of kids having cell phones, I've never been for it. But seeing this thing it's different. I think it's a good idea in some ways, and I think it's a bad idea. I really want you guys to see it before I keep talking about it, because otherwise you're going to be like, well, I wish we knew what you're talking about, and I'm like, well, figure it out, don't look it up, but, you know, just give it a minute, it'll be alright. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Why don't you let me know if you're able to get that look.
Sandy PSA.
Oh, did we find it?
I found it. Let me,
See that? You see that?
let me see what I
Good
got.
things come to those who wait. And you get to watch. And you need to see this. I'm trying to tell you, you need to see it. It's about a minute long. So don't go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Watch this thing. Trust me, when you watch this thing, you're not going to go anywhere. And it's not what you expect. I promise that. I can promise you that. When it started, I was like, okay. And when it ended, I was like, I don't really know how to feel.
Is it the same size as what it should be?
I believe so.
Alright, I'm gonna try and see what happens. Ready?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver. And I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
There you go.
There it is.
You sound better.
Got my mic back. Can you hear me? Cool. Yeah, what did you guys think about that, man? That's nuts. That thing is it was a trip. I watched that, and I watched it a couple of times, man, and every time I watched it, it did not change the way I felt. Like, I felt like, damn, this is messed up to watch. And I don't want my kids to see that, because that's going to terrify them about school. They will become so frightened from school because of that. And I have intelligent kids. Anybody who knows my children knows that they understand a lot of the actuality of how we live, because I don't keep them sheltered that way. I try to be real about it. So I tell them about real things. And that Sandy Hook Promise group, they did an excellent job shooting the thing, and they did a great job with the idea behind it. But man, it was done so well that it made me not want to watch it again. Like, no, man, I don't even want to feel like that. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to talk about it with my kids. It served its purpose for at least that much. Because if you watched it right now, I'm sure you're like, what did I just watch? I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that. Have you seen that with the audio? No? You're going to have to watch it after the show. I'll have to show you.
I know, man.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, bro, it's going to make you stop and be like, let me have a talk with my child. It's good.
Yep.
Right there. Hit the heartstrings. I'm going to go ahead and move on a little bit because we're coming down to the last few minutes, and I don't want to not talk about these things. So, yes. The next thing is the MSNBC did a poll and had a major fail. The poll was, there was one question. It said, do you think people should be allowed to carry guns in public? What do you think the response was? What do you think?
Yes.
The response was overwhelmingly yes. 92% of the people that did this poll said yes. 4% said no, and 4% said, another 4% said only for self-defense. I'm with the 92% because it's my fundamental right. It's one of my God-given rights to be able to carry whatever I choose, especially if it's something utilized for my defense. Now, if I'm running around and I'm shooting things up and all that, that's a whole different story. You don't have that right, and it's not to say that technically you got that right. God gave you the ability to do it. You have that right. When you talk about existing amongst other humans, that's a little bit different if we're going to accept your right to do this or not. You know what I mean? And that's a collective, I think, because if you run around just busting shots off with pistols in random directions and shit like that, pretty sure as a whole we're all going to be like, get him! You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to get tired of getting shot and shit. What the hell's wrong with you? Moving on. I'm for the second amendment, by the way, in case you didn't know. Oh, let me scroll down because I think I had some more. No. Okay, let's go ahead and show this picture of Kendra Coleman. Kendra Coleman is an Oklahoma County judge. Now, I'm not sure if she's in Oklahoma County. I think so. But she's an Oklahoma County judge that has been indicted for tax evasion. She apparently has not paid her taxes in 4 years, from 15 to 19. She also has been accused of, and this is prior to her becoming a judge, she was accused for not disclosing all of her campaign donor information. So like somebody donated money towards her campaign and she didn't say who it was. Which, if you know anything about politics and you know anything about all that, you have to divulge that information because there's rules to where you can get your money from. when it comes to running for positions in any kind of politics or a judiciary system or a position like that that's voted for. So she apparently stepped outside of the bounds of that. The IRS has assessed her for over $100,000. They're saying she owes a lot of money, and as well as Oklahoma Tax Commission. She also is apparently reported to owe the city or the county $1,100 for business taxes. No. She owes business taxes to the city, $400, and she owes $1,100 in tickets, traffic tickets, to the county. I believe that's what it was. Might be the other way around. Figure it out. You can go look it up. Google. It's awesome. And if you're computer smart and you have Jarvis, you can just ask Jarvis. He'll probably tell you. I'm just saying. You can think about it. Oh, we got 5 minutes. Let me roll through this. Oh, hey, in the news, 6ix9ine roll on everybody. Don't worry, they'll knock at your door soon too, because he got you in the list. He apparently threw everybody under the bus for shit that don't really even matter. I don't think. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, if you're a gangbanger, whatever. I know gangbangers. I know a lot of gangbangers. This is how life goes. They're part of life, and they're people like us, and they have their affiliations, whatever. I don't know if it's illegal to be in a gang. Is it? But apparently he felt the need. I don't know what else he may have said, but he at least felt the need to make sure this is what's being reported everywhere. He made sure to tell the judge that Cardi B was a blood. I don't remember what it said. I'm not really concerned about that. But apparently she's blood, and so was Jim Jones. And in reality, it has no relevance to my life whatsoever. And yet I saw so many people talking about it on Facebook, because he apparently rolled on all kinds of people, and it apparently affected a lot of the nation. Did that impact you?
Well, I'm thinking that they really didn't sign him for his music.
Nope, probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Scapegoat kind of thing or something?
Yeah, if you're looking like that.
They say he's looking at 75 years.
Yeah, and you acting like that, and your music really sound like that, then
might be something extra behind it.
Might be something extra behind
Guess we'll find that out as time goes on. But I think to myself, like, whatever it is, ultimately, I don't see the importance that it holds in my own life personally, right? Now, it may on some secret agenda stuff, but I wonder, like, what about Epstein, the Epstein case or whatever it is? I think I'm more concerned about that than if Cardi's a blood or Jim Jones or. I think I'm more worried about those elites that even judges are now acknowledging that these people are doing things, and we need to figure out how to bring it into it. Got a couple minutes left. I'm going to swing through these real quick. The Air Force confirmed UFOs are real. Look it up. They finally confirmed it. Real talk. And I'm glad you watched today. I think Mr. W is glad you watched today. It's been a good show, and we appreciate you guys watching. Make sure that y'all hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when our show is going live. And then also, make sure you guys are following us on Facebook and social media at facebook.com/JPL Productions LLC. Make sure you, just keep watching. Oh, next week we're going to have a good guest. Hopefully he shows up, because right now we got a bad record. But Mr. Mayor, the mayor of the city of Lawton, Stan Booker, is going to be here with us. We're going to be talking about something pretty important coming up for our city. So make sure you guys don't miss it, and watch us next time. Thanks for watching this week. It's been a beautiful show, and we love you. So one last thing, maybe if I